Have you ever noticed that your adult children don't call as often as they used to? Or maybe they seem a little less excited about visiting, even though you know they love you. It's something many parents over 70 experience, and it can be hard to understand why. You've spent years raising them, supporting them, and being there for them through thick and thin. So why does it feel like they're pulling away now? Let's talk about this openly, because it's a topic that doesn't get discussed nearly enough. The truth is, relationships between parents and adult children change as we age. And while it's not always easy to hear, understanding why this happens can help you take steps to strengthen those bonds again. In this video, we'll explore some of the reasons your adult children might be avoiding you, and more importantly, what you can do to reconnect with them in a meaningful way. The first reason might surprise you. It's not about you, it's about them. As your children grow older, their lives become busier and more complicated. They may have demanding jobs, kids of their own, or other responsibilities that leave them stretched thin. When life gets overwhelming, people tend to prioritize what feels most urgent, and unfortunately, staying connected with aging parents sometimes falls by the wayside, not because they don't care, but because they're juggling so much. But here's the thing, just because it's not personal doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. If you've been feeling neglected or pushed aside, it's okay to acknowledge those feelings. What's important is how you respond. One practical step you can take is to make yourself easier to connect with. For example, instead of waiting for them to reach out, try initiating contact in small, thoughtful ways. A quick text message saying, "Thinking of you today," or sharing a funny photo can go a long way. These little gestures show that you're interested in their lives without adding pressure or guilt. Another factor that can create distance is unspoken expectations. Sometimes, without realizing it, we expect our adult children to behave the same way they did when they were younger. Maybe you want them to visit every weekend or call you every evening, but those routines might no longer fit into their lives. And if they can't meet those expectations, it can lead to frustration on both sides. The key here is communication. Instead of assuming they know what you need, have an open conversation about what would make you feel more connected. Be honest, but also flexible. For instance, you might say, "I miss seeing you regularly. Would it work for us to plan a monthly lunch together?" Framing it as a suggestion rather than a demand makes it easier for them to say yes. Now let's talk about a third reason, which can be a bit harder to hear: unresolved tension from the past. Even in the closest families, disagreements happen. Maybe there was a misunderstanding years ago that never fully got resolved, or perhaps old habits of criticism or nagging have left lingering resentment. Adult children often carry these memories with them, even if they don't bring them up. If you sense that unresolved issues are affecting your relationship, it's worth addressing them head-on, but gently. Start by acknowledging any mistakes you might have made. Saying something as simple as, "I realize I wasn't always patient with you growing up, and I'm sorry for that," can open the door to healing. It takes courage to admit fault, but it shows your willingness to move forward. At this point, you might be thinking, "Okay, I understand where they're coming from, but how do I actually rebuild the connection?" That's exactly what we'll dive into next. Let's explore some specific strategies you can use to foster stronger, healthier relationships with your adult children. Because at the end of the day, everyone wants to feel loved and valued, including you. One of the most effective ways to rebuild that connection is by focusing on what truly matters to your adult children. Often, we get caught up in offering advice or sharing our opinions because we want to help, but sometimes this can come across as intrusive or judgmental. Instead, try shifting the dynamic by becoming a better listener. When you do talk to your kids, resist the urge to jump in with solutions or critiques. Instead, ask open-ended questions that invite them to share their thoughts and feelings. For example, instead of saying, "Are you sure you're handling things the right way at work?" you could say, "How's everything going at work lately? I'd love to hear more about it." This approach shows them that you respect their independence while still being genuinely interested in their lives. Listening isn't just about hearing their words, It's about creating a safe space where they feel comfortable opening up. If they mention something challenging, like stress at work or struggles with parenting, resist the temptation to immediately offer advice unless they ask for it. Sometimes, all they need is someone who will listen without trying to fix everything. You might be surprised how much this simple shift can strengthen your bond. Over time, they'll start to see you less as someone who's always telling them what to do and more as a trusted confidant they can turn to. Another powerful strategy is finding shared activities that bring you closer together. As we age, it's easy to fall into routines that keep us apart from our adult children, especially if we assume they're too busy for us. But here's the secret. People are more likely to prioritize relationships when there's something enjoyable to look forward to. Think about hobbies or interests you both enjoy, or even ones you've never tried before, and suggest doing them together. It could be as simple as cooking a meal, going for a walk, or working on a puzzle. If distance is an issue, virtual activities like playing online games, watching movies simultaneously through streaming services, or even taking an online class together can bridge the gap. The goal is to create positive experiences that remind them why spending time with you is so special. Now let's address another common challenge: generational differences. Your adult children grew up in a world very different from the one you knew at their age. Technology, social norms, and even communication styles have evolved significantly, and these changes can sometimes create misunderstandings. For instance, if you're not familiar with texting or video calls, your children might assume you prefer phone calls or visits, but maybe you'd actually love to connect digitally if given the chance. On the flip side, if you're used to picking up the phone for long conversations, they might find shorter texts or emails more convenient. Bridging this gap requires a bit of compromise and adaptation on both sides. If technology feels intimidating, don't hesitate to ask for help. Many adult children are happy to teach their parents how to use new tools. It gives them a chance to contribute and feel useful. And once you get the hang of it, you'll discover how much easier it is to stay connected. Imagine sending a quick voice note to your son while he's commuting or sharing a funny meme with your daughter during her lunch break. These small interactions might seem insignificant, but they add up over time, keeping you present in each other's daily lives. Of course, none of this works if resentment or frustration continues to simmer beneath the surface. That's why forgiveness plays such a crucial role in healing strained relationships. Whether it's forgiving your adult children for perceived slights or asking for forgiveness yourself, letting go of grudges creates room for growth and understanding. It's important to remember that no family is perfect, and holding on to past hurts only keeps you stuck. One way to practice forgiveness is by focusing on gratitude. Make a mental list of all the wonderful qualities your children bring to your life, their kindness, humor, resilience, or dedication, and remind yourself of those traits whenever negative emotions creep in. By now, you may be starting to see a pattern. Rebuilding closeness with your adult children isn't about grand gestures or dramatic changes. It's about small, consistent efforts that show you care. Listening deeply, finding shared activities, embracing technology, and practicing forgiveness are all pieces of the puzzle. But there's one final piece we haven't discussed yet, a mindset shift that ties everything together and ensures lasting results. Let's explore that next, along with some practical tips to make these strategies part of your everyday life. The final piece of the puzzle is shifting your mindset from expectations to appreciation. When we focus too much on what we think our adult children should be doing, calling more often, visiting regularly, or spending holidays a certain way, we set ourselves up for disappointment. But when we shift our focus to appreciating what they are doing, no matter how small, it changes the entire tone of the relationship. For example, instead of feeling hurt because your daughter didn't call last week, try feeling grateful that she texts you funny memes every now and then. Instead of dwelling on how infrequent visits are, Focus on how meaningful those moments together truly are when they happen. Gratitude transforms frustration into joy, and it helps you approach your relationship with warmth rather than resentment. This mindset shift doesn't mean lowering your standards or giving up on closeness. It means meeting your adult children where they are, without judgment. It's about understanding that their lives are different now, just as yours is. And while you might wish for more time together, it's important to celebrate the connection you do have rather than mourning what's missing. One way to practice this is by expressing gratitude directly to them. A heartfelt thank you for taking the time to chat with me. I really enjoyed hearing about your day. Can go a long way in reinforcing positivity and strengthening your bond. Another key aspect of maintaining strong relationships is setting healthy boundaries for yourself and for them. Sometimes, parents unintentionally push their adult children away by being overly involved in their lives. Constantly offering unsolicited advice, asking intrusive questions, or expecting them to prioritize your needs above their own can create tension. While it comes from a place of love, it can feel suffocating to your kids. On the flip side, having clear boundaries also means respecting their need for space and independence. If they seem distant or overwhelmed, give them room to breathe without taking it personally. At the same time, make sure you're carving out time for your own interests and friendships, so you're not relying solely on your children for emotional fulfillment. This balance creates a healthier dynamic where everyone feels respected and valued. Now let's talk about something that might feel uncomfortable but is incredibly powerful: initiating hard conversations. If you've noticed a growing distance between you and your adult children, don't wait for it to resolve itself. Take the first step by gently bringing it up. You might say something like, "I've noticed we haven't been connecting as much lately, and I miss you. Is there anything I can do to make it easier for us to stay close?" Approaching the topic with vulnerability and openness shows that you're willing to work on the relationship. It also gives them permission to share their perspective, which could provide valuable insight into how they're feeling. Remember, rebuilding connections takes time and patience. There will be good days and challenging ones, but the effort you put in today lays the foundation for a stronger tomorrow. Celebrate the little victories: a phone call that goes longer than expected, a shared laugh over old memories, or even a text that brightens your day. These moments remind you that the love between you and your adult children is still there. Sometimes, it just needs a little nurturing to shine through again. We've covered a lot of ground in this video, haven't we? From understanding why adult children might pull away to learning practical strategies for reconnecting. The journey to stronger relationships starts with small, intentional steps. Listening deeply, finding shared activities, embracing technology, practicing forgiveness, and focusing on gratitude are all tools you can use to bridge the gap. And remember, it's never too late to start. Whether you're 70, 80, or beyond, the desire for connection doesn't fade, and neither does your ability to nurture it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic. Have you experienced challenges in staying connected with your adult children? What strategies have worked for you, or what questions do you still have? Share your stories and insights in the comments below. I read every single one, and I know others will benefit from hearing your experiences too. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. We're here to support you with more tips and advice to help you navigate life's joys and challenges at any age. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought: relationships ebb and flow, but love endures. No matter where you are in your journey with your adult children, there's always hope for healing, growth, and deeper connection. So take a deep breath, trust in the power of small actions, and keep showing up with an open heart. Here, to building bridges, creating lasting memories, and cherishing the people who matter most. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.